Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
Child obesity is on the rise.
An average child spends about 5.5 hours a day doing sedentary activities.
The long winter may be affecting the health of Edmontonians.
This is not about the fact it gets cold, it's about the fact it gets dark.
Meet one of Edmonton's newest celebrities.
NAIT NewsWatch starts right now.
Good evening. The rate of overweight children in Canada is continuing to steadily rise.
Governments across Canada are taking action to combat this startling trend. Our Kendall Guiney joins live from our news centre with more on that story.
Our Future is an initiative put in place this month to promote national dialogue to get people talking about why what many call an epidemic is happening and what we can do to change it. With more than 1 in 4 of Canadian children being overweight or obese, governments hope to gain insight on what we can do to reverse this trend. Our Health, Our Future will promote a national dialogue through the use of an online forum, along with in-person discussions with professionals and Canada's youth. Health officials say it starts with reversing how inactive children have become.
The leading reason I would say is the development of the media toys that the kids play. Those are the video games, computer games, and of course TV.
This dialogue will focus on key themes such as providing children with more options for getting active, showing more support of healthy eating habits, as well as improving children's access to nutritious food. Here at the local Boys and Girls Club, it is a theme they promote every day.
We provide a lot of activities in the sports and recreation background. So we do a lot of floor hockey, ice hockey, basketball, and dodgeball. So what games can you play outside and keep active?
Healthy eating is also discussed regularly. Snacks and meals are prepared with this in mind. Madison Marty and other members of the Macaulay Club participate in discussions of their own about not becoming a statistic.
Every day after supper, we go to the tables and we talk about what kind of healthy food is good for us.
Our Health, Our Future will be collecting information from this month until June, and when compiled will be presented to federal, provincial, and territorial ministers of health in November of this year. There are no quick fixes to childhood obesity, but through gathering this information throughout the year, it can set Canadians on the right path to incorporating a healthier lifestyle.
Kendall, as the number of overweight and obese children continues to rise, what other health risks increase as a result?
Childhood obesity can put the child at a higher risk for developing chronic diseases such as cancer, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Additionally, it could lead them to having a shorter lifespan.
What other themes will this national dialogue be focusing on over the coming months?
They hope to reduce the amount of marketing to children that promotes snacks and beverages that are high in sugar, sodium, and fat. Also, they hope to learn more about the identifying characteristics of overweight and obese children in order to address it early on.
Thanks, Kendall. That's Kendall Guiney reporting live from our news centre tonight.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
It's been one of the coldest winters on record, and some Edmontonians are taking it harder than others.
Sarah Comedina reports outside on NAIT campus.
It's been a long few months here in Edmonton. With above average snowfalls and fluctuating temperatures, it has been taking a toll on some of our lives. Dory Seaman knows that the winter months may make her feel a little less like herself.
Well, it's way more work. My attitude, probably less happy in the winter than in the summer. Less free feeling.
Seaman is not alone. In the winter, people may develop a type of seasonal depression. It's common in most people who do not get enough sunlight or vitamin D on a daily basis. Psychologist Paul Sussman says that seasonal depression can be treated.
The seasonal affective disorder lamps work extremely well and in a way that you can feel almost immediately.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how fed up are you with winter, 10 being the greatest?
Since I have to work outside at 10.
I'll say about a 6. 10, no, 11, 12.
Although a lot of people are sick of winter, many people welcome the snow and colder days. It means more business for this job site workwear store.
Winter, so we rely on cold weather. We rely on Mother Nature to be miserable in Alberta, and it certainly helps our business.
Seaman battles the winter blues by planning a warmer getaway every year.
As long as you can get away for a couple of weeks. We only managed to get away for about a week this year, and it's a really bad scramble to run and come back. And
with the winter forecasted to be lasting a little bit longer, it looks like those benefiting positively will keep on benefiting, and those who want the winter to go away will just have to wait it out. With NAIT NewsWatch, I'm Sarah Comedina.
Thanks, Sarah. That's Sarah Comedina reporting from NAIT campus. Improving the city's landscaping was discussed during a brownfield workshop this past week at the Shaw Conference Centre. Brownfield sites are abandoned or underused industrial and commercial facilities available for reuse. The City of Edmonton is choosing to focus on abandoned gas stations.
Way to aesthetically improve them, maybe improve some economics that are going on in the area, and they become useful.
Topics discussed included creating an inventory of contaminated gas stations around the city and working with potential developers for low-interest loans or grants to reduce capital costs. For more information, visit edmonton.ca/city_government.
The University of Alberta Medical Research Team received a major grant to understand how the brain controls breathing. With a 5-year, $700,000 grant, U of A and 2 overseas researchers will use a technique called optogenics to further these studies.
And we're trying to understand how astrocytes, in particular these regions of the brain that are involved in controlling breathing, might contribute to these hypoxic responses.
Using different wavelengths of light on different regions of the brain will help better understand how the brain controls breathing rhythms.
It's a great tool for turning on cells that are called glia cells and trying to understand how these cells work within a network, and that network controls breathing or respiration.
The study started in Auckland, New Zealand in 1995 and continued at the U of A in 2003.
Edmonton will receive a $400,000 grant from IBM's Smarter Cities Tech program. The grant is provided as consulting assistance from some of the top minds at IBM, focusing on researching data from the transportation department.
This is IBM bringing in expertise to act as a catalyst to really help the city get to the next level on some of the projects and some of the initiatives that they want to achieve.
Ways to support growth and better delivery of services will be analyzed.
The outcome is going to be a plan and or technology related to taking the information out of all of our transportation systems and rolling it up into our performance management, and then eventually making that available to citizens.
Edmonton is the only city in Canada and 1 out of 24 worldwide to receive the grant.
Although some breweries are predicting the price of beer is going up, don't head to your local liquor store in a panic just yet. Because of the flooding in Australia, Canada, and Russia, experts are projecting a 33% increase in the price of malting barley, which would affect the cost of your favorite beer. But one local brewer isn't too concerned.
Yet, so because last year's harvest was excellent, and they expect that this year's coming harvest, there's absolutely no reason to presume that it wouldn't be any good.
Because these projections are not certain and the price of beer goes up a small percentage every year, there might not be anything to worry about.
Edmonton Public Schools are taking initiative against the discrimination of gay, bisexual, and transgendered students and staff. The Board of Trustees became the first board in Alberta this week to pass a motion to develop a specific policy to ensure schools prevent harassment and discrimination.
Policies exist in other jurisdictions across the country, but none in Alberta or Saskatchewan or Manitoba. So we're excited and we feel we've made the right decision.
Alberta is the first of the prairie provinces to pass such a motion, possibly leading the way for other provinces to create similar policies.
International Women's Day was celebrated by the all-girl Nellie McClung program at Avonmore School on Tuesday. The event, called Strong Women, Strong Futures, had the girls honor important women in their lives, had a discussion about the importance of women's rights, and sent the message that girls too can be the leaders of tomorrow.
This event is celebrating everything that women have done so far to get to this point, and everything that we still can do and still need to do.
Girls, they don't have any limits. I mean, I think a lot of girls will put those limits on themselves because society gives them to us.
Mirror frames with images that personally inspired them were auctioned off for the Because I Am a Girl campaign, which raises money for the education of girls in third world countries.
Coming up after the break, scientists work with students to motivate the next generation.
Students take part in the Science Olympics.
Great opportunity for students to get hands-on activities.
We weigh in on the article official.
The way it's classified is as a non-nutritive sweetener.
Coming up after the break, I give a go at boxing.
Get back in the ring.
The Science Olympics were held at the Shaw Conference Centre last weekend.
Edmonton grade students were there to test their skills. The event is sponsored by the Association of Professional Engineers, Geologists, and Geophysicists of Alberta and invites students' minds into the world of
Great
science.
opportunity for students to get hands-on activities for science events in the hopes that they pursue careers in science, math, and technology.
The students built different structures such as mousetrap catapults and models of an offshore oil rig engineered to withstand waves. They were also treated to different presentations from scientists.
I think it's really nice because it's more inquiry, so they're asking you questions as opposed to just learning the curriculum and tests over studying and quiz.
The Apega Science Olympics is in its 34th year. Graham, I'm a little fed up of this winter already.
Yeah, so am I. It's just terrible.
Dylan, come on, give us some good news, please.
You know what? I got good news and bad news, but you know what? It's been a chilly week. Let's have a look at Monday. In Calgary, we have a high of 9 with a -1. It's going to be partially cloudy there. Jasper, we have a high of 5 with a low of -7, mixed in cloud. Perfect weather for snowboarding or skiing. Fort McMurray, we have a high of 0 with a low of -11, mostly cloudy. And here in the capital region, we have a high of 2, which is a first since the middle of February, with a low of -7, mix of sun and clouds. Average high at this time of the year is a high of 2 with a low of -7, so we're sitting at the average temperature, which is pretty good. Again, let's aim for those high of 2s. Record high at this time of year is a high of 18 in 1910 and a low of -33 in 1939.
Weather brought to you by NR92.
So the good news was that it's warming up. The bad news is if you're a heavy sleeper, you're losing an hour. Tonight, do not forget to turn your clocks up an hour for that daylight savings time.
Yeah, well, at least it won't be as cold anymore, so maybe you can go outside.
Well, thanks, Dylan.
No problem. Have a good day, guys.
Aspartame was FDA approved 30 years ago as a calorie-free sweetener.
It has been an ongoing debate whether the artificial sugar can lead to negative impacts on the human body. Jamila Clark reports.
The common name for it is NutraSweet, and it's in just about everything. Soft drinks, flavored water, hot chocolate, pudding, ice cream, cereal, cookies, even chewing gum and children's vitamins. Cannon Srinivasan, a Starbucks employee, has noticed an increased demand for sugar-free snacks and drinks.
They consider Splenda or some other calorie-free sweetener that replaces sugar, so that especially diabetic and the people nowadays, they are more health conscious.
Artificial sweeteners were originally created as a healthier alternative, and although it has been proven successful in terms of weight loss for some dieting patients, some prefer to stick to regular sugar.
I'd prefer sugar and just watch how much you intake. If you're worried about calories and diets, then, indulge, but maybe just have a couple bites of it and then that's it, as opposed to eating a whole cinnamon bun or something like that.
The American Health Association has concluded for years that the consumption of aspartame is safe and not associated with serious adverse side effects, even though hundreds of unverified websites claim otherwise.
50 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. And what that really translates to is that if you drank about 19 cans of pop a day, every day, for many years, that's an acceptable level.
Although it is higher in calories when compared to artificial sweetener, sugar is a natural way to sweeten up your diet. And consuming in moderation is always recommended for any daily food or beverage intake. Jamila Clark, NAIT NewsWatch.
Now Mike Baden joins us in sports.
Mike, eclectic week in sports. I saw you were pretty busy.
Yeah, it was a really busy week. There was actually the 2011 Alberta Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I got that and more coming up in sports. The 2011 Golden Gloves tournament was at the Yellowhead Inn this past weekend, and hometown boxer Robbie Cousin has had to change lanes on his road to victory. Robbie Cousin began his boxing career at age 13 and has since been in over 50 fights. Once high school ended and people began to move on with their lives, he felt it was time for him to make a change.
There's people around me who are carrying on with their lives, what they want to do, and I just thought,
I might as well carry on what I enjoy as a passion.
With no more distractions around him, he now has the chance to focus just on boxing.
Smaller town, like it's only 100,000 people compared to here where there's 1 million people. You know, all I do is I wake up, I work, I run, and I train 7 days out of the week.
Robbie's ultimate goal is to win nationals next January, and after winning Best Senior Fighter in this weekend's fight, he is now one step closer to meeting that goal. The Lloydminster Bobcats of the Alberta Junior Hockey League are under some pressure after their owner sold the team. The Lloydminster Bobcats have set up a fund called Friends of Bobcats to keep their team alive, and Bobcats leading scorer Kyle Harris is trying his best to save the team.
Try and rally the community to buy units for the team. They have to buy 100 units, 5,000 each for a unit, and they're just trying to get everyone to get up to $500,000 in 800 season tickets. So we're getting close, and it's good to see the community rally.
The deadline to sell the shares is March 21st. If you're interested in purchasing a share, you can call Rob Hefner at 875-5256. The Edmonton Energy are getting set for a new season by unveiling their new head coach. Former player and new Energy coach Skousen Harker is hoping to build off of last season's success and make a run in the playoffs.
Obviously, there was a disappointment with not going to the playoffs last year, but the key is, you know, taking it game by game and trying to get the wins.
They also signed 3 new players, Blaine LeBranche, J.R. Patrick, and Andrew Parker, to contracts for the coming year. The second annual NAIT Ping Pong Tournament was put forth this week, and to some, the competition wasn't what they expected. NAIT student Stephen Reimer came into the tournament confident, but that confidence was lost fast after 2 very lopsided games.
21-5, 21-13.
The competition was tough as former McEwen champion Quang Zhu walked away with the first place prize, but Stephen didn't leave empty-handed as he won the draw for 2 Oilers tickets. The 2011 Alberta Sports Hall of Fame ceremony took place on Wednesday, and a variety of athletes were honored. The complete 1950 Edmonton Mercuries, along with the 63 and 66 Edmonton Oil Kings hockey teams, were honored, as well as Hall of Fame NHL goaltender Glenn Hall.
I'll tell you, it is a high award. I'm totally incapable. I could stop the puck. I can't speak. You've already proven that.
12 athletes were inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. The NAIT men's basketball team has qualified for nationals after beating Lethbridge College last week, and now head to Oshawa, Ontario to compete from March 17th to 19th. Also, congratulations to NAIT badminton team for bringing home 5 medals, and to Dan Kai for winning gold in this year's badminton nationals. After seeing the reward of winning a fight, I felt it was time to try boxing. For this week's End Zone Challenge, I entered the ring. The coach got right into it by putting on my hand wraps to protect my wrists and knuckles. Then it was time for the gloves to come on, and I instantly felt more power. Warm-up was easier said than done. My feet really needed some work.
Don't bring your feet together, you gotta push off, right? Yeah. Boom, boom. Step over. Good work. Works. You get your footwork down. If you don't have footwork, you can't box. Everybody can stand and hit a bag, right?
It was now punching time. First with the jab, followed by the 1-2 combo. But I kept dropping my hand. With a little practice, the punches started to get better, so it's fight time.
Do you have any final wishes that you'd like to make, Mike?
The coaches really had my back. My first ever bout was up against 6-time Canadian national champion Candy Wyatt. And boy was she ready.
That means we're good? Okay. That's quick.
All right, so not only did you get your butt kicked by a girl, but her name was Candy.
Yeah, Candy was not so sweet this time. Maybe I'll have better luck in the ring next time.
All right, thanks, Mike. Coming up after the break.
We spent some quality time at the Boys and Girls Club.
The mission of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Edmonton is to provide a safe place for children to come after school.
I'm Haley Matson, and coming up in entertainment, I meet one of Edmonton's upcoming new stars.
Hair for NewsWatch personalities, sponsored by Carriel Salon and Spa.
This week, Graham and I spent some time with the kids at the Boys and Girls Club of Edmonton.
Spending time with children is not only fun, but rewarding. The organization is an after-school program that provides a safe place for children to spend time with others, do homework, and to play.
The program reaches out to at-risk children with the goal of getting them to graduate high school to try to break the cycle of addiction and poverty.
An adult spending time with a child, telling that child that they are important, is probably the most important part that a volunteer plays overall.
For more information about the organization and how to volunteer, go to boysandgirls.ab.ca.
It was fun. It was fun.
Those kids were really nice.
Yeah, very innocent.
Yeah.
Next we have Haley Matson with entertainment.
We all know Lassie, Air Bud, and Beethoven, but Toby? I had a chance to meet Edmonton's newest and furriest rising stars.
Meet Toby, just your average dog with a not-so-average lifestyle. 9-year-old Toby has his own book, Facebook, blog, website, and even Twitter account. The book, Toby's Terms, written by his owner Charmaine Hammond, recently got an offer from Impact Motion Pictures to be turned into a movie. It's a true rags to riches story for Toby. After being adopted from a shelter 4 years ago by Charmaine and her husband Chris, Toby's story started in a way that not many would expect.
He destroyed our house on many occasions, and eventually I kept keeping notes of what Toby was doing and met up with a fabulous publisher in Del Mar, California, told her about Toby, and she said, "That's the book, you got to write a book," and then sent me a publishing contract, and then that's how everything just started to really explode with Toby.
To deal with the behavioral problems, the family took Toby to a therapist whom recommended volunteering. Now 3 years later, Toby volunteers for the Alberta Hospital, helping mental patients every Wednesday.
Toby's story is really one of success, that like many of us as people, we have troubled lives, and we're really fortunate Toby came from a good home, a loving home, but he came with lots of baggage and issues, and just like us as people, we have to work through that to be successful.
So what does Toby think of all this success? With Toby expected to be making a cameo in the movie, the family is excited for what's to come.
Last weekend, I set my eyes on the night sky at Winterlight's Out of This World event, Star Party. Star Party gave Edmontonians a chance to get a closer look and a better understanding of the night sky above. This event featured over 20 astronomers and presenters from across the country and had various music and dance performances throughout the night. For activities, the event had various displays like an inflatable igloo with a recreated night sky inside and several telescopes for people to gaze through.
Children grow up not really thinking that those things are there until they go camping and they see these amazing skies. And so I hope that they take away that connection from what they hear and see tonight.
Organized by Winterlight and Parks Canada, this year's event ended up taking place at City Hall from their original location, Elk Island National Park. The location changes were due to the cold weather temperatures that night. It's a story of love, but in this recreated production of Victor Hugo's classic story, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, we see love in its darkest form. Developed by Catalyst, Hunchback is the third production from the multi-award winning team. The story follows Claude Frodo, a troubled priest, Esmeralda, a dancing gypsy, and Quasimodo, a deformed bell ringer, who all get caught up in the obsession and desire of love that ultimately destroys them in the end.
Well, it's love. It's a lot about how far are you willing to go for love?
Composed by Jonathan Christensen, this distinctive and powerful show will be playing at the Citadel Theatre until March 27th. Many of us know the tale of Little Red Riding Hood, but in this new film, forget what you've been told, because the big bad wolf just got scarier.
Directed by Catherine Hardwicke, the director of Twilight, and produced by Leonardo DiCaprio, this new dark adaptation from the old fairy tale is far from what you read as a child.
Until the blood moon wanes, you will never truly be safe.
The film stars Amanda Seyfried as Valerie, a young girl living in the medieval village of Daggerhorn, who falls in love with a local woodcutter against her parents' wishes.
What do we do now? I'd do anything to be with you.
The pair plan to run away when their escape is cut short after Valerie's older sister is found slaughtered by a mysterious werewolf that's been haunting the village.
Wolf is someone in this village.
Hungry for revenge, Valerie's father, played by Gary Oldman, goes after the werewolf. But as the hunt starts, Valerie realizes she has a unique connection with the creature that puts her as both suspect and bait for the town.
Tell me who it is.
Red Riding Hood hits theaters March 11th, and with an all-star production team, this movie will be one to check out.
What big eyes you have.
Be sure to check out Red Riding Hood in a theater near you. That's it for entertainment this week. Have a great weekend.
You know, fairy tales, they're not really my thing, but I like the score, and it seems actually quite interesting.
Well, I'm more interested in The Walking Dead out on Blu-ray this week, so I think that I'll be watching that.
Difference of opinions.
Yeah.
That's everything for this week.
Go to www.naitnewswatch.ca for more information.
Have a good night.
Black. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.